Are you craving an adventure of a lifetime, but your partner wants less sunrise hikes and more margaritas by the pool? In today's episode, I'm sharing my top 3 secrets to creating the perfect couples trip that blends the adventure you desperately need and the luxury your partner wants. Welcome to Transform with Travel, a show helping busy professionals plan more bucket list trips that reignite adventure and go beneath the surface, without the overwhelm of planning, the endless midnight scroll, and the crowded tourist traps. Buckle up because we are about to take off. In today's episode, you'll learn how to plan an epic adventure even if one partner is less adventurous than the other, the questions to ask yourself and your partner before you even begin the planning process, and the 3 secret ingredients of a balanced itinerary that leaves you both getting what you want. I'm Kelly Tolliday, and I'm your trusted travel friend. Today, I am taking you on a journey to crafting your perfect couples trip. All right, so you want to plan a big adventure. You're craving an experience that's going to ignite that zest of life within you again. Maybe you're sitting behind your desk right now, just dreaming of those backpacker days in your 20s, and you're like, man, those were the days. And at the end of the day, what we're craving is to feel alive again. So you get this idea. Let's go on an adventure. You're thinking sunrise hikes or scuba diving with the sharks or boat tours to remote islands or swimming under waterfalls. But now you have your partner in tow. So this can be a predicament, right? What if your idea of a vacation includes a lot of adventure and activities and movement, and it's not quite what your partner has in mind? What if your partner is more like the relax on the beach with bar service kind of traveler? How do you plan for the adventure that you need, but the luxury and the relaxation that they want? This is what today's episode is all about. And I know this scenario like viscerally in my soul so intricately because it's my own lived experience. My husband has always been very adventurous. He backpacked solo through Southeast Asia and Europe well before he even met me. But as he's gotten older and more mature, maybe he's grown to like the finer things in life. And so sometimes I struggle with I really want to have the grit of the travel experience. And he's like, no, I want my 5-star hotel. And I hear this a lot when I'm planning a lot of my clients' couples trips. They're like, well, I don't mind, going a little off-road or off the beaten path, but I know my husband's going to want to have the more of the luxury hotel, or they're not going to want to wake up to go hike a volcano. You might be more of the adventurous type at this stage in your life. And you want to bring that into your life. You want to bring that into your relationship, but how do you get your partner on board? So I'm going to take my husband and I's upcoming trip to Panama as an example. And I'm going to break down exactly how we planned our 8-day vacation so that we both get what we need. Before we started planning, and before I plan any of my clients' couples trips as their travel advisor, I always ask these important questions. So get your notepad out, get ready to go. Hey, I recently did a poll on my Instagram where I asked you what you're looking for most in your travel experience. And the large majority of you said that you're seeking deeper experiences while you travel. In a world of AI and over-tourism, we're seeking to see the world in a new way and in a way that leaves the world a better place, while also transforming the way that we see ourselves. There is truly no one doing this better than And Beyond. For over 30 years, And Beyond has been curating unforgettable experiences that allow you to immerse in culture, nature, and adventure, all while keeping it luxury and unique. Nicole Robinson, the CMO of And Beyond, was actually on the podcast on episode 77, sharing how the company is redefining luxury and sustainable travel, one trip at a time. And Beyond has created and curated a collection of lodges, camps, and itineraries in some of the world's wildest places. Bucket list destinations like Africa, Asia, South America, and even Antarctica. Whether it's a private safari in Botswana or finding true peace at their stunning river lodge in Bhutan, they've got you covered. And the best part is you can travel with And Beyond no matter what stage of life or style of travel you're in. Think solo traveling, romantic getaways, family adventures, and multi-generational bonding. They handcraft bucket list experiences in a way that leaves you deeply changed and also leaves the world a better place at the same time. I mean, what more could you want out of your travel experience? Head to andbeyond.com to learn more about their lodges, camps, and itineraries and their current special offers like their anniversary or milestone celebration offer. That's www.andbeyond.com, and make sure you tell them that I sent you over. So separately asking, not together, separately asking individually, what is your ideal day on vacation? Like, what is your pace? Do you want to have a sleep in? Do you like to wake up early and do something and then have a really slow afternoon? How many activities do you want to do? Like, what's your pace of day? What does it feel like for you? And like, is there anything that's a hard no? I think sometimes we think, yeah, everything sounds great until all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait, no, I definitely don't want to do that. So have a think about like, what are your no's on vacation? So, for example, my husband does not want to have to wake up early for any tours on this particular trip to Panama because for him what he needs is a slower pace. He wakes up at the crack of dawn every day and he works 12 hours a day. He wants to have a slow morning. He wants to wake up with the infinity pool right at his doorstep and just relax and do nothing. Really, that's truly what he wants. He doesn't want to have any long walking tours. He doesn't want to have a guide talking all day to him because that's what he does all day. He talks to people all day. He just wants to have a really slow, quiet pace of peace. So thinking about, okay, what's my pace? What's my individual preference for my pace of my trip? What's my ideal day? How many activities do I do? What kind of activities do I do? And what are my hard no's? Ask those things separately, right? And then also asking yourself, like, do you need to spend the whole time together? Am I okay with maybe doing a couple things on my own? And really asking yourself, like, would that be okay with me? Would that be okay with them? Then coming together after asking yourselves those questions, chatting about what you need personally, what they need personally, and then asking together as a couple, what do we need as a couple? Maybe we're going on this trip to ignite a sense of adventure within our spirit, within our relationship, like just like ignite a little bit of wild, free energy in our relationship. Maybe we need to reconnect and like have actually 2 seconds to talk to each other without work and kids and everything else that comes along with daily life. What do we actually need as a couple? What does the entity of this relationship need right now? So when you have these three components, your preferences and priorities, your partner's preferences and priorities, and then the couple as an entity, as a relationship, what does your relationship need? Bringing those all together like a Venn diagram and figuring out, okay, how can we piece this together so that this feels really good? From this place, you can really understand what destination to even go to, what activities you want to have involved, the pace of the schedule that you really need to have. And it can start to show you that you don't actually have to do everything together. That adventurous activity that you really want to do, but maybe your partner's just really not on board with waking up at 5 a.m., you can do that separately. And also to note here, typically when I'm working with a client, I will ask and discuss budget, but that's a whole other conversation. And I don't want to like convolute this conversation in particular. So budget's always an important piece to get on board with. Making sure you're on the same page budget wise is always important to start planning. So just a caveat there. So based on these questions, Sam and I started planning our annual child-free trip. We always take one trip a year where there's no kids and it's just us and we can really focus on ourselves. We were supposed to go to South Africa, but it ended up getting canceled because the villa we were supposed to stay at had to get renovated. So now we were left with this choice. Where do we want to go? We already had childcare set up. So what destination are we going to go to? And what do we want to do? We knew that we both needed, like for me, I needed a little bit of time to decompress. I wanted to be surrounded by nature. I wanted to be able to surf. And I really wanted to explore a new destination because lately we've been in this routine of going to the same places. We go to the same house in Costa Rica, or we'll go back to Australia to visit family, or we'll go back to Ireland with the kids because we know those destinations really well. It feels like we don't have to reinvent the wheel with the kids. But for this particular trip, I really wanted to explore a new destination and feel like a traveler again. That was really important to me. For Sam, he really, really wants a lot of time to relax, to be in a luxurious, beautiful resort where he doesn't have to feel like he has to take care of anything, because that's all he does all day is take care of things, put out fires all day long. He'd like to do a little bit of exploring, but not too many scheduled activities. His hard no was waking up too early or having a really strict schedule. Like he didn't want to wake up and feel like he had to be somewhere. Like he just wanted to have the day unfold for him. So as a couple, as our relationship, as the third part of this Venn diagram, we wanted to be able to have an exclusive space for us to be tucked away in nature. That's kind of what this South Africa trip was supposed to be. Obviously, massive bucket list experience with a safari, but we also just wanted to feel like really tucked away and cozy and exclusive and feel like we were really like steeped in nature. But we also wanted to feel pampered and comfortable so that we can just come back together as a couple and focus on ourselves. So originally I was thinking maybe El Salvador Salvador because it's kind of new on the travel map. But the main activity where we would go and where it's kind of safe to go as tourists is to surf. And although Sam enjoys it, it's not something that he wants to do all day. And he also didn't want to reinvent the wheel entirely. It seems like to him with El Salvador, we would have to really put our traveler's hats on and really get a little gritty, less relaxing and more adventure than he particularly wanted. So, where did we land? We had been exploring Costa Rica very extensively. For myself, over 10 years, for Sam, over the last 2 or 3 years. And we decided to take the opportunity to stay close to home and explore a nearby country in Central America of Panama without the kids this first time. We were like, okay, well, if we're going to explore a new country, let's leave the kids at home so we can get our feet wet, understand the country, and then we can bring them back when we're ready. And to satisfy Sam's needs of being in luxury and accomplishing a dream, a bucket list experience for him and staying in an overwater bungalow, we're going to go to Panama, and that means that he gets to stay in an overwater bungalow at the gorgeous Nayara Resort in Bocas del Toro. I get to surf. I get to explore a new country. I get to hike in the rainforest. He also gets to scuba dive. And we also had an opportunity to add into the itinerary an all-day private boat tour to a gorgeous, gorgeous, completely remote island. But we had to wake up really early to be able to do it, and it was an all-day excursion. What is one of Sam's hard no's? Having to wake up super early and being away from the resort all day. So we decided to forego the boat ride, even though it really killed me, and utilize the 5-star resort and all the amenities that they had involved there. Ultimately, it's about compromise and being really clear about what each partner wants. While I get to go surf, Sam will scuba dive. We'll do the half-day hike instead of the full-day hike. I get my dose of adventure and he gets his dose of relaxation. So those are the questions that I would definitely bring into your conversation when you're starting to plan for your next trip with your partner. If you feel like you want to have a little more adventure and you know that they might push back a little bit on that, asking yourselves separately those questions and then coming together as a couple and really asking, like, what do we need as a couple? Summertime and the living's easy, especially when you have Best Day Brewing packed in your cooler. Just because you're not drinking alcohol doesn't mean you have to miss out on creating core memories this summer. Beach time, boat days, dips in the lake, and so much more. That's where Best Day Brewing comes in. Brewed in Northern California and crafted for the doers, the trailblazers, the summertime warriors, the adventurers. Yes, that's you. Best Day creates the perfect non-alcoholic beer for life's special moments. And better yet, you can earn $2 back via PayPal or Venmo when you purchase one pack of Best Day Brewing at participating retailers from now until July 30th. Check the link in the show notes for more info on the program. Cheers to your best summer yet. Finally, the 3 secret ingredients to pulling this all together. I think you could see a little bit of that as I started to explain how we planned our Panama trip. The 3 secret ingredients to pulling this all together and ensuring your next couple's trip is infused with the right amount of adventure and relaxation that you both need. So number 1, if your partner is more on the bougie side and more on the finer things of life side, I highly recommend splurging on the accommodations. It's just a hotel room. We only sleep in it. That's like famous last words. Usually, if you can splurge on your hotel, your partner, who may now be a little more bougie than back in the day, will feel more up for the adventures that you had planned. They've got their high thread count sheets, the infinity pool, the gorgeous view. So because they feel like they have that luxury at the hotel, they may be up for a little bit more adventure outside of the hotel. On the trips where I didn't go more on the luxury side and Sam felt like he was like quote unquote roughing it, which is hysterical, he was way less up for the adventurous activities. Having a safe and luxurious place to land after a day out allows for them to decompress and really get what they need. And luxury doesn't have to mean 5-star. Luxury just means whatever that means for you. I know that when we stay at a really like nice property, a private home, or a hotel, I know that Sam, my husband, will be way more up for adventurous activities because he knows that he's going to get that gorgeous sunset relaxation by the pool with a drink after, right? So I highly recommend, specifically if you want more adventure and your partner wants more relaxation and luxury, I highly recommend really focusing on how you can bring that to life through the accommodations, because you're going to get a lot more out of them in the excursions if that's the case. So number 2, Balancing time together and time apart. So, one of the questions that we asked before we started planning, as I mentioned, was how much time do we need to spend together? Are we okay with spending a little bit time apart? Let's say there's a hike that you really want to do, but it's best at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m., and your partner doesn't want to wake up that early. You can still go, hire a guide, join a tour, let your partner sleep in. It's okay to do things separately on your vacation. In fact, I encourage it. Allowing there to be the time to do things that you love while your partner does the things that they love is critical. For example, I'm going to go surfing while Sam goes diving. And then we're going to come back together after each tour is done and walk around Bocas del Toro and do some shopping and have lunch in town. And we're going to have so much more to talk about our experiences that we had separately and share together after spending a few hours apart. So I highly recommend that you don't have to do everything together. It's okay to balance that time apart and then reconvene and come back together, especially if there's activities that are really high on your list, your partner doesn't want to do. And usually you're the one that has to cave in and not do it. Still go, hire a guide, talk to your hotel about setting you up with a tour or something, or your travel advisor can set you up with a tour. And really allow yourself to lean into like, this is what I need, this is what you need, and that's okay if those two things aren't the same. And then the third thing is planning plenty of spontaneity and free time. Typically, when I hear that someone's spouse or partner just wants to relax, like when they say, what's the most important thing about this vacation? And they say, I just need to relax. What I hear as a travel advisor is that they are really, really busy. They are tapped out at home. And what they really need is some unstructured time. Usually, these people don't even do the typical relaxing activities like yoga, massage, read by the pool. They just don't want anyone telling them where they need to be, let alone their unusually perky partner at 5 a.m. ready to go surfing, which is typically me. If you want to be able to experience adventurous activities with your partner who is really just wanting a lot of unstructured time to be more low key, make sure you leave plenty of room for free time, free space on the itinerary. Leave room for spontaneity. They will feel more relaxed knowing that nothing is on the agenda for the day, and they'll actually be much more likely and more willing to go on that mangrove kayak tour you just found out about. Some of the best memories you'll have with your partner while traveling are the completely spontaneous random moments. Leave room for that so that your partner can decide in the moment whether they want to go or not, and you'll be happier that they're more relaxed and that they're actually willing to go along for the ride. Okay, let's recap. Ask yourself the real questions. Get clear on what you need personally, what they need, and then what the relationship needs out of this trip. And then plan accordingly. Plan your destination, your activities, your itinerary around that. If your partner is more luxury or more bougie than you, let them be that. That's what they want. That's what they deserve. This will be the thing they feel like they have the most control over. Let them be a part of the process and let them splurge if they want on that accommodation. And obviously, of course, if it feels good for you too. But if they feel comfortable and a little bit luxe on the accommodations, they're way more likely to be more adventurous on the excursions. Be okay with spending time apart. Don't let one partner's preferences completely dissuade you from experience a bucket list activity. Balance the time together and the time apart so that you both can get what you need. And lastly, don't jam pack your schedule. They will feel way more relaxed when there's free space to play with. Allow yourself to give into spontaneity and let them open up to the idea of adventure once they are already relaxed. With all of this said, I know it can feel overwhelming to plan a vacation for you and your partner when you have different priorities or needs out of the vacation. Maybe you even have different budgets in mind, different destinations in mind. And this is where I can come in. I specialize in bucket list experiences that you'll be talking about for years and years to come. Don't let overwhelm drive you into analysis paralysis. I'm here to help you bring your bucket list to life with more ease and way less stress. I'm super grateful that you made it all the way to the end. All right, I'll see you on the next episode. That's a wrap on today's episode. If you're feeling on fire and lit up to start planning the bucket list adventure you're craving, let's work together. I'm here to manage all of the hassle of planning, hand select your options specifically for you, and give you the inside scoop that no AI itinerary can give you. Click the link in the show notes to look through our pricing and packages. You're one click away from the adventure of a lifetime. This is your reminder to keep on exploring.